Gather round, everyone, and hear again the tale of Drakfu. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a good week. Obviously, I was on vacation. I'm feeling rested, relaxed, refreshed, and it's time for us to take on brand spanking new content. And for that, let's go ahead and just bring up this camera for a second. So we've now we've gone through Vanilla WoW, we've gone through Burning Crusade, and we've gone through Wrath of the Lich King. We literally finished it literally 2 weeks ago. Now we're on to the third expansion, which would be Cataclysm. This is actually a point where a lot of former WoW players say that's where it got bad. Let me just go ahead and set things up for you. We had taken care of the problems on Azeroth. We had taken care of the problems on Outland. We then came back to take care of the problems in Northrend. What we didn't know was that a whole new problem was going to come up right from beneath us. Deathwing shook the ground and actually entered through our world via the Realm of Earth, and also pretty much destroyed the world and put it into a cataclysm that would forever change the World of Warcraft as we knew it. Now, the sad part is that a majority of the expansion content was the revamping of the world. I mean, as you guys can obviously see, we have the new Orgrimmar. The original Orgrimmar was kind of a classic Horde setup. Now we have a lot more metal and iron in it. And so at that point, this was Cataclysm Horde. And from there on in was shaped by it. But yeah, the reshaping of the world was really what we got. And for the people who were doing endgame progression, instead of getting a brand new continent to work with, instead they decided to open up zones that were either long sought after, like people wished we could have gone into them, or brand spanking new areas that tried to change the gameplay somewhat and change the equation. So that being said, this is the new Orgrimmar, this is the way things were, and let's go ahead and get things started with the official questing experience for Cataclysm. And we're actually going to start things off in one of my favorite zones of Cataclysm. I know a few people made some suggestions, but thankfully by majority you guys agreed with me, and we're going to start things off in Mt Hyjal. But before we do that, we actually have a first off quest that pretty much brings us up to speed with Cataclysm. So an unfamiliar, let's see if actually I can read this in, can I read this in Storyline? That would be great if I could. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like it's going to do that. Yeah, it may not actually let me read it in Storyline, but let's go ahead and go over this. This is the quest, A Personal Summons, which as soon as you hit level 80 in Cataclysm content, would start up the experience for you. So, an unfamiliar feeling wells up from deep within you, flooding your mind with thoughts and images. Hear my words, Drakfu. Our world finds itself in the grip of a terrible crisis. I call upon you to lend your aid in this desperate hour. I am Krogar. Seek me out at once, and your destiny shall be revealed. You can find me north of the Drag in Orgrimmar. It's probably an orc, but I just wanted to read that really quick to bring people up to speed. So this is actually a new area that was put in since flying is now enabled in Orgrimmar, and this actually gives us all the portals necessary to go through the Cataclysm areas. It's instantly to those new zones. And here is Krogar, Farseer Krogar.
Speak, friend.
Let's go ahead and do his proper voice now. So, Personal Summons. May your sense of honor and duty serve Azeroth well, monk. Alright.
May your blades never
And the Eye of the Storm. We're going to go ahead and do this. Greetings, Drakfu. Yes, you are known to the Earthen Ring by name. Your exploits and accomplishments are many. Azeroth stands in your debt, and yet again she is in need of her heroes. I am but a messenger. A familiar presence seeks audience with you. Peer into the waters of Farseeing and behold the fate of our world.
go forth to victory.
Alright, so all you have to do is just go over to this Waters of Farseeing, and you will get this little cutscene. There we go.
Citizen of Azeroth, behold. Our world groans in agony, besieged by an adversary of unspeakable power. As her lands break and crumble, the fractures that divide her people must be mended. for neither side can overcome this threat alone. Join me. Cast aside your prejudices. Together, we must heal Azeroth's wounds and those of her people.
Okay, so I'm going to need to explain something, obviously. Thrall's out there. Why is he not leading the Horde? This is actually where a major shift in leadership in the Horde actually happened. In Cataclysm, Thrall knew that there was a problem with the elements and decided to leave to take care of it, to join the Earthen Ring to help them. In turn, he decided to put his now kind of lieutenant, who had actually had a lot of success in Northrend, Garrosh Hellscream, in charge of the Horde, while he went off to work on his shamanistic powers to help heal the world. So you're going to be dealing with that a lot. This is officially where Garrosh took charge of the Horde, and for the moment, it actually looked like it was a good idea. Like, a lot of the questing that you would do in Cataclysm kind of pointed towards Garrosh being a good guy. Until an expansion later, and then apparently he was douchebag supreme. So let's go ahead and talk to Farseer Krogar. Eye of the Storm. Now that your eyes have seen the truth, where will you choose to serve? Okay. So, I already know the first quest that we're going to do. Technically, as you level up, you actually would get the new zones as you go. But I've actually decided, so the 2 introductory zones that were given, obviously since it worked so well in Northrend, they did it again. They put 2 introductory zones, but this time they were, they pretty much have the same kind of questing in mind, despite factions and all that. So you could either start off in Mt Hyjal, which was actually a zone that was originally in World of Warcraft but didn't have a whole lot of work done to it just yet, or you could go to the sunken city of the Vashir, which was introducing brand spanking new underwater gameplay. We're going to go to Hyjal because, first of all, by majority, you guys wanted us to do Hyjal, so I'm very happy about that. But at the same time, it's also just, to me, it's a better overall zone, or at least it's my favorite zone in Cataclysm. So we're going to start that up by coming here, and do we need to talk to somebody in particular for it? Let's see. Speak to Cenarian Emissary Blackhoof. So, that you? Yep. Okay, so go ahead and talk to him.
What brings you here?
Oh, let's actually go ahead and read it. So this is actually on the War Chief's command board that you could get. This actually started in Cataclysm. The Heroes command board and the War Chief, or the Heroes call board in Alliance and War Chief's command board in Horde. This is where they got introduced. So let's go ahead and read this. All able-bodied members of the Horde are hereby ordered to report to Emissary Windsong at Nighthaven and Moonglade. Our brothers in the Cenarian Circle report that Deathwing's minions have launched a destructive offensive against the World Tree and threaten to burn it to the ground. Speak with Cenarian Emissary Blackhoof to gain entry into Moonglade. Blackhoof is located at the Tauren District in the Valley of Wisdom in Orgrimmar. Onward, brother. Destiny calls. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Are you here to help the cause? Mt Hyjal burns. Could you please send me to Moonglade, Emissary? Which is funny, because Moonglade isn't actually that far from here, but this is a great little teleport. So you don't have to cover the ground yourself. And yeah, I'm really excited. We get to go into Cataclysm territory now. The 3rd expansion. Actually, really quick before we get things started, because people do like it when I have these things out. Let's see. Coming down the mountain. This would be it. We have 115 quests to do in Mt Hyjal. Yeah, this is pretty long. All of them pretty much are. So here is Emissary Windsong. We knew the Horde would send help, and not a moment too soon. Okay.
Go in peace.
As Hyjal burns. Drakfu, we've heard much about you and your previous accomplishments. It is good that you've come here just as Azeroth finds itself in a time of great need. Deathwing's minions are attacking Hyjal and seek to bring the destructive Ragnaros back into our world. People might remember Ragnaros was from the original Molten Core. He actually got a little bit of a revamp in Cataclysm. Aranis will take you to join Malfurion's forces in Hyjal. Lend them what help you can. Okay. So here's Aranis of the Green Dragonflight. So he will go ahead and fly us over to Mt Hyjal. And the way he does it is through a portal, but really, Moonglade is right next to it. It's more for this. I'm being quiet because he'll actually talk. Or at least he should.
No, it can't be. Our forward outpost has been obliterated.
Oh no! Oh, big palace right there. Very fiery. That's a lot of lava.
Is it too late? I feel Deathwing's presence nearby.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I love the over-dramatics. Oh, and here is Deathwing, the Destroyer, the former leader of the Black Dragon Flight, but now gone horribly, horribly insane. And I love the model. To this day, I still love the model. Oh no! Ragnaros!
The Fire Lord has risen! We must send word to the others! Let us hurry.
I love the Uranus dialogue. It's hilarious to me, just because like he really tries to hit that high note a lot of the time, and then the "let us hurry" says "let us hurry." I'm like, yeah. So yeah, this is the situation that's going on. When Deathwing burst through the realm of Earth, he actually opened a way for all of the other elemental planes to enter into Azeroth as well. What you were actually seeing was the place where the realm of fire is trying to enter into Azeroth, and therefore Ragnaros has decided to commit a campaign to burn the World Tree Nordrassil. So this is where fire, and then eventually we will go into other zones where the realm of water is starting to leak through, the realm of earth, and the realm of air. So we'll be dealing with all of that stuff, but here is Nordrassil and where we start up. But first we need to speak with Ysera. The other cool part about Cataclysm was that up until this point, every dragon aspect had their own, or were all just the typical Drake models. Up until, well, in Wrath of the Lich King, they redid Alexstrasza, but they were working on the other ones as well. So Malygos got his own individual model also, but the reason I bring that up is because eventually Malygos would have a replacement. He also has a unique model. Same thing goes for Ysera, the Dreamer, the leader of the Green Dragonflight. So here we go.
Dream gives us shelter.
Though Ysera's physical form stands in front of you, her consciousness appears to shift between this world and another, so as Hyjal burns. Ysera appears to be in some sort of trance. Okay. Protect the World Tree. Ysera's eyes look distant, as if not fully acknowledging you. I feel it as well, monk. Ragnaros has arrived. We must defeat his minions before he can join them and lend them his strength. Seek Malfurion Stormrage at the Tranquil Grove, west of here, and aid his forces in any way you can. I must seek answers from within the Emerald Dream. You must protect the World Tree until I return. Okay, so we have this quest from her, which is basically to the next area, but first we need to take care of the problems that are happening here. And this actually was one of the new rep factions within Cataclysm, which was the Guardians of Hyjal. So, first of all, we have Anrin Shadowseeker.
How may I help?
Or Anrin. The Earth rises. The effects of the Twilight's Hammer's attack can be felt even here, this close to the World Tree. As our forests burn, the very Earth turns against us in a crazed frenzy. We can't allow the elementals to go unchecked. Go and help our men take care of them. Okay, so we need to take care of 8 Scalding Rock Elementals. And then we also have Tholo Whitehoof.
I've been expecting.
Inciting the elements. This is no mere natural occurrence, Drakfu. There must be a Twilight Princess presence behind our lines that we haven't accounted for. It's possible that whoever is instigating the elemental disturbance is using foul magic to hide themselves from our sight. Seek the aid of the fairy dragons that roam near the World Tree. They can see through any of our enemies' illusions. Feed them the juniper berries that grow nearby to gain their trust. So we need to feed juniper berries to the fairy dragons and slay 4 Twilight Insiders. That's the other thing, too. So the Twilight's Hammer Cult, which actually had made appearances up in Vanilla WoW, and a little bit in Wrath of the Lich King. I don't think they really showed up in Burning Crusade. They are kind of the main threat in this one, because they are threatening to seek the hour, or to create the Hour of Twilight, which is basically where the old gods will break free from their ancient prison and once again gain mastery over all of Azeroth. So we're trying to stop that, but unfortunately it means that the Twilight's Hammer's cult has a lot of really good friends. Specifically, within the ranks of, like, the Realm of Fire, for Ragnaros, amongst other places. So let's go ahead and start gathering things up. And I'm actually not going to do a questing break just yet. We'll start that up in a second, but first of all, happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. For me, I actually got a week off, so I'm actually very happy to get back to work, getting back to what I do love best, and returning to the Tale of Drakfu as well as a number of other things. However, I think there's going to be a minor change to the schedule. Usually, I try to get these things recorded the day before so they're as recent as they can possibly be, but that's been kind of murder on my schedule, so I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to be making a minor change to that, and that's simply to make things a little bit easier on the schedule to get these things out quicker to you. And that is, I'm going to be recording them in bulk. So, like, I'm going to dedicate solid days to just recording the week's worth of recordings. I don't think it's going to matter too much. I'm going to try and keep things as recent as I can in the recordings, and also story-oriented towards the games. But I figure I probably better just let you know, just in case that's not what actually happens. So here we go. We've got one more Scalding Rock Elemental to take care of. And we need one more batch of Juniper Berries, and then I have no problem starting to go after the Twilight Insiders. Ooh, and actually, since I am a big ore hoarder, I just barely stopped for Cinder Bloom. Let's go ahead and get some Obsidium, which is always helpful. There we go. Okay, so all I need to do is feed the Juniper Berries to one of these fairy dragons, and they will lead me to a nearby Twilight Insider. We found evil ones! Follow! That's pretty much all they say, so don't expect me to say that every time. Oh, there he is.
I don't have a time.
The other thing that was also new with the Cataclysm expansion that I forgot to mention was that we got two new races. We got the Worgen and the Goblins. Worgen for the Alliance and Goblins for the Horde. And also we got a bunch of class recombinations that people have been asking for quite a while. So, for example, Blood Elf Warrior joined the mix. So, up until this point, Blood Elves couldn't be warriors. Taurens could not be paladins. Gnomes couldn't be priests. That's one of the things that actually made it really cool. And, of course, the coolest part to me was that up until this point, only one race on each faction could be a druid. Night Elves could be druids and Taurens could be druids. This is the expansion that changed that equation, because now you can actually have Worgen druids and Troll druids, which is something I felt the game horribly needed. And thankfully, in some cases, we got some brand spanking new models for them. So we got more feral-looking bears and cats from Worgen, and then we got more colorful-looking ones from the Trolls.
I can't.
Yes, I know. He's there. There we go. And we need one more. Okay, feed you a Juniper Berry. I'm actually going to go ahead and just get rid of all this stuff, too, because I don't think I'm going to need those. There he is. That's my last Twilight Insider. Okay. So now that we've got these, let's go ahead and turn them in. Thankfully, just to these guys out front. Let's talk with Onren first. I thank you, Drakfu. Your fighting prowess is admirable. You will be crucial to putting a halt to the elemental onslaught. We now have 272 items. That is, bear stats, it's a little bit better, but I'm actually going to go with it, just because we're going to get a lot of stamina-based items from all this. Oh, and look at that, level 86, boing! So now I'm officially leveling for Mists of Pandaria within Cataclysm. Let's go ahead and turn this one into. You've done well, Drakfu. We cannot allow the Twilight's Hammer spies this close to the World Tree. Okay. Flames from above. We've identified the general direction where the infiltrators have been coming from, thanks to your work. Now we just need to shut down their camp and put an end to their operations this side of Nordrassil. Take this horn. It will signal one of our emerald drakes to swoop down and give these Twilight cultists a taste of the flames they so madly worship.
We shall meet.
Okay, so we need to go over here. Oh, first of all, let's grab this flight path, which will be even more helpful. Oh, Cinder Bloom. Gotta get it. Gotta start working on my urban. Not really. I mean, like, you could start up at Legion, but I like to do it just, especially with a brand spanking new character. And here is a Twilight's Hammer camp. Get used to seeing this particular setup because you're going to be seeing it a lot in the zones that we're going to be covering, and there's only 5 of them. We're not going to get too far in because I can just go ahead and hit the horn, and there's our Emerald Flame Weaver. And he is burning it in green flames. Because we don't like the Twilight's Hammer cult. We don't. They're starting crap up with us. And we don't start that up. You don't mess with Azeroth. Okay, so let's go ahead and meet back with Tholo.
Hail.
Excellent, Drakfu. That should put a stop to the attacks once we finish these elementals off. All right, and that's it. So our next, first of all, I also want to point that out in case people are wondering what these are. They are portals to Stormwind and Orgrimmar. That's one of the things that Cataclysm tried to do, was tried to put a bunch of portals around the world so it's easier to get around. So I would, like, if you get to Cataclysm, I would advise using these as much as you can so you don't have to use up your Hearthstone that much. Especially since you're probably going to want to set your Hearthstone to Orgrimmar or Stormwind. That's really where the hub was in Cataclysm. Because that's where the portal hubs are and all that fun stuff. Oh, and Thrall is here, but we're not going to take this quest because that was patch content. And we don't do patch content on this. Well, if you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. But it's, yeah, not necessary. So, we want to fly over these mountains. This is one of the biggest advantages of Cataclysm. Flying was available. I actually think this is probably the expansion that hurt flying the most because this is where Blizzard realized they created a bit of a problem with flying, and thus have I think fixed it properly with the Pathfinder achievements. And here's Malfurion Stormwage, who also got a brand spanking new model in this one. It's been updated since Legion, but it's okay.
How might nature serve?
You've arrived just in time, Drakfu. All right, War on the Twilight's Hammer. Make no mistake about this, Drakfu. The outcome of this war will determine the very survival of our world as we know it. The Twilight's Hammer has become more powerful than ever with Deathwing's return. Should they succeed in taking over the World Tree, they might strike a blow from which we will never recover. It is time we beat back the enemy. It is time we crush the Twilight's Hammer. So you need to kill 4 Flamecallers and 10 Vanquishers.
May nature guide your
But we also have one from Windspeaker Tamilla.
What brings you here?
The Flameseer's Staff. A powerful artifact known as the Flameseer's Staff was lost during the initial onslaught by the enemy forces. It was an ancient bone staff that granted its wielder power over the elements of fire. Its fragments litter the area around us. Find them and bring them to Malfurion. Perhaps the artifact's power will still be of use.
When the act.
Alright, and ooh, we've got some Cinderbloom, so we'll go ahead and grab that on the way. So, we need to get some staff fragments as well as take care of some Vanquishers and Flamecallers. Thankfully, they're all within the exact same area. But for that, let's go ahead and start things off. Questing break, go! Okay, so we've gone ahead and got these quests done. Let's go ahead and turn them in with Malfurion. So glad that we finally got Malfurion as a quest giver, because up until this point he was absent. He was not in the game, except right before Cataclysm they actually did do the novel Stormrage, which brought him back into the world and made sense of why he was here. So thankfully he's back. But we have War on the Twilight's Hammer. You've done well, Drakfu, but I fear the battle is far from over. And we get a nice helm from that, but first the Flameseer Staff. Yes, Drakfu? I have these staff fragments. Excellent, Drakfu. This will be a great weapon against the enemy forces. Alright. I'm trying my hardest to do the original Malfurion, but he's kind of hard to do. Flamebreaker. The large elementals that besiege us are not a singular entity. They are an amalgamation of lesser spirits bound together by the Twilight Hammer cultist's magic. The rebuilt Flameseer's Staff will give us enough power to shatter its bonds. Destroy the smaller elementals once you've broken up the more dangerous large ones. Okay?
nature stands with you.
So we need to take care of that. First of all, let's take a look at the helmet. Stamina's an upgrade, so let's go ahead and do that, just for a change of scenery. And all we need to do is use the Flame Seer Staff against these big elementals. So then it will make a bunch of little elementals that we now need to kill. And we'll just go ahead and do that. Problem is, I'm also stupidly powerful, so I gotta be careful. If I don't play my cards right, I can actually kill everything. Alright, we need one more. See if we can find him off in another area. Oh, there we go. Big guy. So can we do this? Boom! And a bunch of little flame elementals come out of nowhere. From downtown. Oh, really? One more? Oh. I hate it when that happens. I really do. Big elemental here? Oh. Where's another bound elemental? Come on. This is also where elementals got a huge upgrade in appearance, because you can now get these unbound elementals that look really, really cool. Do we have any of these guys respawn? No. Uh-oh. I need to find a unbound elemental. Paging for an unbound elemental. I just need one more, guys. Seriously. I just need one more. I don't really want to go in here if I don't have to, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. So let's do this. Let's see if they just come to me. Yep, there we go. I didn't want to go here because this is actually where the quest is going to take us next. So let's go ahead and turn this in so that we can get the next quest, which will involve Baron Geddon, who people might remember from Molten Core. Yes, he's back. They actually made him more of a questing asset. Okay, so Malfurion! Malfurion! Just call me Shondo. No. Malfurion! Well done, Drakfu. This will help us turn the tide against the enemy. Alright, the return of Baron Geddon. Ragnaros is not the only powerful elemental that has re-emerged into our world. The dreaded Baron Geddon is leading the onslaught, and we must put an end to this rampage. The Flameseer's staff has proven powerful. Perhaps it is powerful enough to weaken him to the point where our Archdruids can bind him where he stands. Go, Drakfu, and be careful. Baron Geddon is a vengeful and treacherous being. He also occasionally will drop the bindings of the Windseeker, but not here. Only in the Molten Core. Yeah, so if you want a legendary weapon, it's really easy to get, but has to be a class that can wield a sword. Okay, so this is actually pretty easy to do if you know what you're doing. You just have to play a little bit of hot potato. Go ahead and do this. We have to weaken him 20 times. Okay, we need to move away from his ability. Well, that's not good, so we just gotta wait until he stops scorching the ground. And then go back and do it. This Galrond of the Claw, he's actually your warning. So as soon as you see Galrond start moving, you need to get out too. There we go. Move back! Wait for him to stop spamming. Okay, now we just do this. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20! There we go. As a final act of revenge, Baron Geddon has made you a living bomb. Move away from your allies. I remember at launch, people didn't do this, and we had a lot of deaths. So basically just move away, let him go boom, and then boom! Take a little bit of fall damage. Okay, head back to Malfurion for the next batch of quests. We're doing really good so far. This is actually also where I think the questing got a lot more linear and good for it to do so. Like, I think Wrath started it, but this was where it was more refined, and it gets more refined as we go along in the other expansions. So, here we go.
I must protect the wild.
Well done, Drakfu. We cannot afford to lose any further ground in Hyjal. By stopping Baron Geddon, we will have dealt a huge blow to the enemy. And for that, you can actually get an agility hammer, which this is also the expansion that introduced the mastery stat. I know a lot of people don't like mastery. I'm kind of there with you. Don't worry about it. But this is the one that introduced it. Let's go ahead and take the axe. And our next quest is with Windspeaker Tamilla. Emerald Allies. The Druids of Hyjal are not the only ones sworn to defend this land. The Emerald Dragons have once again become a powerful ally to our cause. Speak to Elisra at the ruins of Lardonir to the north, and see what you can do to help.
We shall.
Okay. So first of all, let's check this out. 274. Let's go ahead and replace the 174 green that I have. There we go. Brand spanking new axe. This is the thing that people really don't like from previous expansions, is when you get into a new one, all the epics that you work so hard to get, they're a little outdated. It sucks, I know. But thankfully, if you've been raiding for a while, they've since fixed it where it doesn't take too long. You can get about halfway into the experience before you start needing to upgrade. So you can keep your armor sets or your set bonuses for quite a while. So let's go ahead and talk to Elisra. Past the verdant thicket into these ruins. There she is. My duties are here, viewing the enemy's movement from above, commanding our armies where they're needed. Your aid would be most welcome. Okay. The captured scout. I've heard about you, Drakfu, and the news you brought from the south. The battle has reached a stalemate. One I fear that is about to be broken by the Fire Lord's reawakening. That is, unless we tip the scales in our favor in some way. There is a scout that was captured by the Twilight's Hammer. I believe she was in the possession of valuable intelligence. Find her in the Twilight Camp to the west. Okay. So what we need to do is go over here to this Twilight Camp, and that's where she's at. She will give us an additional quest. So hi there, Scout Larandia. Help has arrived at last. Yes, I'm Drakfu. Twilight Captivity. I've been scouting behind enemy lines for nearly a day when they caught me. This attack on our front lines is not what it appears, Drakfu. I'll give you all the details, but first let's find a way to get me out of here. Only the Overseers carry keys to these cages. From what I recall, we're in the middle of a crater, in the thick of it. See if you can get a key off of one of them. Okay, so what we have to do is just look for one of these big ogres. And Twilight Overseer's key. Really easy. So let's go ahead and talk to Larandia again. The key, Drakfu. Did you get it? Yes, it was really easy. I'm thankful, Drakfu. I will deliver my findings to our people. Okay. Return to Elisra. I thank you for freeing me, Drakfu. I will tell our allies of my findings. I suggest that you return to the Emerald Dragon that sent you. The Twilight's Hammer does not just seek to gain territory with this particular attack. They're also after a prisoner. Fandral Staghelm is being held in the Barrow Dens. The attack doubles as a distraction to free him. To what end, I cannot tell. Perhaps our dragon ally can shed some light on this. Okay, so we need to return to Elisra to find out why they want to free Fandral Staghelm. I need to explain this a little bit. Fandral used to be the Night Elf leader at Nordrassil in Classic WoW, aside from Tyrande. He was the other one that led the Druids as well as part of Night Elf Society. He was kicked out, though, because we found out eventually he was drugging Malfurion Stormrage to keep him in the Emerald Dream. A lot of this gets divulged, again, in the novel Stormrage. So, for people who want to be able to go read that, go read it. I'm trying to think. I don't think Novel has a full-on overview of it, but he's brought up Stormrage a number of times in his videos. So I'll see if I can find, like, one that has the most coverage. Bottom line, Fandral, because of losing his son to the War of the Shifting Sands in Encourage, he's pretty much gone insane and has his own purposes for not only the World Tree Teldrassil, which is where the Night Elf capital Darnassus is, but also for Nordrassil and a bunch of other places. Let's go ahead and talk to Elisra and see what she knows about Fandral. This development is troubling, Drakfu. We must act swiftly. A prisoner of interest. The Twilight's Hammer wants to free Fandral Staghelm? Malfurion suspected his corruption ran deep. This just cements it. At any rate, we cannot allow our enemies to get their hands on such a powerful Archdruid. I have a plan, Drakfu. We will move the prisoner through the Emerald Dream. It will be risky, but with all the cultists present here, it might be the only way to guarantee our success. Speak to Sena Stormrunner, inside the Barrow Dens to the northeast. Okay, so we need to go to the Barrow Dens, which is usually where the druids are sleeping, but in this case, this is also where Fandral is imprisoned. Here we go. So, as you can see, the wardens are here to help keep our prisoner of interest behind bars. Oh, did I pass her? I could have sworn she was at the entrance, but okay. So continue on in the Barrow Dens. This is also where they redesigned the Barrow Dens, and I really like the new design. It's very natural. And feels like, you know, this could be a cave that's pretty deep. Okay, so we have a bunch of Twilights here, so let's take care of them. Grab all that stuff, and go down here. Here is Saina Stormrunner. So let's go and talk to her.
What is your report?
The dragon might be right. The Twilight's hammer has breached our security, and this is our most dangerous prisoner. Okay. Through the dream. Elisra's plan might be necessary, Drakfu. I don't know how much longer we can hold off the cultists. Vandral Staghelm is bound by powerful spells. He won't be able to escape you, even inside the Emerald Dream. Beware, though. For all we know, the nightmare has spread to this part of the world inside the dream. Take Fandral to the surface and hand him to Elisra. Let us hope he's more secure in Moonglade than he is here.
Back to your duty.
Okay, so now we have Fandral Staghelm following us within the Emerald Dream. But we have another problem, because the Emerald Nightmare is an ever-present being within the dream. And we are going to have some denizens from the Nightmare here. This is early Emerald Nightmare, though. So, like, if you're expecting Legion-level designs, not really. I believe they start right up here. Or not. Maybe they took away all the fiends. I don't know. There used to be, like, little fiends that would attack you and try and get you out of the dream, but I guess they took them out. And here is Elisra to be handed off Fandral. Let's go ahead and talk to her. You did well, Drakfu. I will take Fandral to Moonglade myself. His prison will be far enough from the battlefield there. Return to Nordrassil. I will take Fandral to Moonglade swiftly. I hope to return soon so I may continue to aid in the battle. In the meantime, report back to Ysera and inform her of these recent developments. Okay, so we've been taken out of the Emerald Dream. And now we just need to fly back to where Ysera was, underneath the World Tree. That's what I love about starting up a brand spanking new zone, is that it takes a while to get into the swing of things, and we don't necessarily need to do a whole lot of questing breaks. Here is Ysera. So let's go ahead and tell her of the news. Elisra's decision might not have been the wisest, Drakfu. Yet there is little time to worry about that now. I bring important discoveries from the Emerald Dream. Oh, okay.
I fear for Elisra's fate. Vandral's corruption ran deeper than anything I encountered in the nightmare. Yet, we can't afford to dwell on this. During my stay in the dream, I made a vital discovery. The rift that weakens the boundaries of this world has hastened the return of powerful allies. The ancient guardians are coming back. Cenarius, Aviana, Goldrin. I can feel their presence. We must make sure we usher them into this world. Their timely aid will be indispensable.
Okay, so we have a bunch of new allies that we can gain in Mt Hyjal. So we should really try to get them. These are allies from the War of the Ancients. So obviously Cenarius is one that a lot of people would know, especially with Legion. Aviana, Goldrin, if you are a big fan of Worgen lore, Goldrin is a big part of that. In fact, the coolest part is if you're a fan of Varian Rin, in the novel Wolfheart, we actually find out he's pretty much an avatar of Goldrin now. So that's an interesting little turn of events for him. Let's go and talk to Ysera again. The return of the Ancients. It'll be crucial to reclaim each of the ancient shrines, Drakfu. Follow the road west of the Verdant Thicket into Wolf's Run. We have operatives stationed there. Aid them in any way that you can and work your way to the first shrine. The wolf god known to the elves as Goldrin, and to the orcs as Logosh. He will be a fierce ally in our fight against the enemy. Fun fact, Logosh is actually the orc name for Varian Rin because he used to be a gladiator. So he used to be called Ghost Wolf, Logosh. So we need to speak with Umla Whitehorn at Wolf's Run. Thankfully, it's not too far off. All we have to do is just get past the main battle area that we were dealing with a lot in our previous questing. Flying, it's a thing. And we're already, let's see. I don't want to, because we're over 100 quests. I am not going to figure out the math because I'm probably going to screw it up. But we're a good percentage into the quests now. That's what I like. The questing is pretty easy to do and therefore can be nuked out pretty quick. Okay. So Wolf's Run. Let's go ahead and turn this into Umla Whitehorn.
Hail.
Ysira sent you? Good. We need all the help we can get. We'll never be able to recover the shrines to the ancients so long as Twilight's hammer controls the roads. Somehow, we've got to stem the flood.
Goodbye.
Alright, harrying the hunters.
Twilight's hammer has revealed itself as more than a mere cult. They are a war machine, a swarm of locusts moving up the mountain, devouring anything in their way. The parts of the forest they're not setting ablaze are being scoured of life in order to feed the mortal cultists. We've got to put a stop to the hunters canvassing Wolf's Run, not only to preserve what wildlife remains, but to force the cult to march on an empty stomachs. Look south of here, as well as up the road to the east.
Maybe.
So we need to take care of 6 Twilight Hunters, and then we also have Jody Farlin.
What brings you here?
Are you here to help, Monk? This valley serves as a natural choke point. If we can strangle this supply line, we buy our companions at the World Tree time to mount a counterattack.
So end of the supply line.
Cho'Gall's Twilight Preveditors.
Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Swear a blood oath that they will get their supplies through to the front, pledging a pound of their own considerable flesh for every pound of supplies they fail to deliver. They would rather die than fail. See to it that they do both.
So slay 4 Twilight Preveditors at Wolf's Run.
Farewell.
And in the rear with the gear. In the rear with the gear.
Prisoners of the Twilight's Hammer are forced to lug around sundries for the war effort, like common pack animals. I want those supplies. If we can free a few poor souls from the hammer's shadowy grip, all the better. All the better. Kill the slave drivers along the road to our south, and nearby slaves should make a break for it. Search the packs they leave behind for anything valuable, and destroy anything you can't carry. So we need 36 Twilight supplies. And the only way to be able to get them is, as you can see, we have these Twilight Preveditors. Just gotta kill off their little escort. And then as soon as you do that, they'll go ahead and drop them. So, and each time it's 3. So pretty easy to do. You can do it in about 4 runs. So let's go ahead and do this. And with that, let's do another quick questing break. Go! All right, here we go. We've got all the quests taken care of. Let's go ahead and turn them in. So first of all, with Jody, end of the supply line. Well done. The chaos we sow back here will be felt up and down the chain of command.
All right. And in the rear with gear.
Have you created some havoc down there, Drakfu?
Yes, I have. Jody kicks open one of the crates and picks up a curved dagger within. She immediately winces in pain.
Ah, cursed. This metal is cursed. It bites.
When the dagger falls to the ground, it shatters, as if made of brittle glass.
What demented workmanship is this? Drakfu, I've never fought any foe like this before.
Farewell.
All right, and then we also have Umla.
Thank you, Drakfu. I worry that our actions here may be a little too late, but nature always has a way of rebuilding itself that never ceases to amaze.
The voice of Logosh.
Have you heard of Logosh, the wolf ancient? In the Alliance tongue, he is known as Goldrin. I don't need to tell you how important the wolf god has been to the Horde. His tenacity under adversity has been an inspiration to all of our disparate races. Southwest of here, down in the valley, lies a shrine to Goldrin. My friend Takrik Ragehowl was refurbishing the shrine when I stopped hearing from him. I fear the worst. Please find Takrik, Takrik, and make sure the shrine is okay.
Go in peace.
Alright, so we need to go over to the Wolf Shrine, which is just over the pass. And we'll be able to see what's going on at the Shrine of Goldrin. Nothing good, apparently. There's a lot of fire here and a lot of Twilight construction. So, obviously, they've probably taken over. And actually, here is Creek Rage Owl.
Loktar.
Loktar, monk, don't worry about this cage. These animals will come to fear me before long. My first priority is to clear this filth away from my beloved shrine.
Howling Mad.
The shrine has been taken, Drakfu. We need the tenacity of Logosh now more than ever. These defilers, the lice-ridden wolfmen, running rampant over the shrine, dishonor the memory of the wolf god. They arrived in the Twilight's Hammer howling with their own twisted religion, where they seek to corrupt noble Logosh to fit their own warped pantheon. Kill them and bring me the tools of their worship, a kind of polluted incense. I must understand what they want with the shrine.
So as you can see, the place is kind of filthy ridden with the Worgen. So this is actually a bad side effect of Goldrin. And something, again, that you learn within... There was actually 3 books that you could get that were kind of pre-Cataclysm. Wolfheart, I mentioned Wolfheart and Stormrage. The other one was the Shattering. So right as the Cataclysm happened, you can see how the various factions took it, including the fact of Garrosh assuming power within the Horde at the cost of Karen Bloodhoof's life. Yeah, it's a long story, but I think Novel actually has one based on the Shattering, so maybe I'll put that up so you guys can see it. But yes, long story short, a bunch of druids were attacked, and Karen Bloodhoof, the leader of the Taurens and beloved Warcraft character, then confronted Garrosh about it. Garrosh wasn't too pleased either, but Karen wasn't having any of his excuses and thus challenged him to Makara, which is basically a duel to the death for the orcs. Which Garrosh won, but at a high cost, because he didn't realize this, but Magatha Grimtotem, a mortal enemy of Karen, had poisoned his axes to ensure victory against Karen. So kind of a tainted Makara that I think for a while there, they actually tried to do a story that kind of haunted Garrosh. Like, he actually won this battle dishonorably. Let's see. So we just need one more. But that's also why you get Bane Bloodhoof, who now leads the Taurens, is because he is the son of Karen and took over in his father's stead. All right, let's take this back to Creek and see what happens next.
The animals were once men, but they turned into mindless beasts under the influence of Twilight's Hammer. I do not hesitate to slay them all.
Okay, so Creek examines the incense.
Disgusting! This is like the incense we burn when we wish to commune with the spirits, but it's befouled.
Lycanthoth the Corruptor.
The actions of these feral dogs are beginning to make sense. The Twilight's Hammer fears the power of the ancients. They do not want Logosh to return. So they've summoned their own wolf god, a perversion of what once was, Lycanthoth the Corruptor. Drakfu, Lycanthoth is but a shadow of Logosh's power, but the beast must be destroyed so that the true ancient can return. Take this incense and burn it in the maw of Lycanthoth to the east of here. Slay the monstrosity and free the spirit of Logosh.
Alright, so we just need to go over to the cave here, which is where the spirit of Lycanthoth is. So you just go over to this altar, and you use the incense to summon Lycanthoth, which we instantly kill. And there we go, the spirit of Logosh, or Goldrin.
Your bravery is an inspiration to others, monk. Tell me your name. You were brave to face down Lycanthoth, Drakfu. Like myself, he was a primal force of nature, but his origins were from a darker place. Those who birthed that beast reached deep into the blackness, channeling powers never intended for this world. Come, monk, climb onto my back, and let us show these beasts the true face of ferocity.
I'm not going to try and do a Worgen voice for this guy, because I think he's actually a lot more noble than that. So the spirit of Goldrin is now within the shrine. And we get a nice little cutscene. This is another cool part that got added in
Warcraft or in Cataclysm is more questing cutscenes to help tell the story. Boom! Let's go ahead and free all of the captured Horde and Alliance. Servants of Logosh / Guldrin. And take care of all of the evil Worgen. Because they should not... Well, actually, no. They'll just... Never mind. He's gonna kill him. They were about to serve him, but no. Guldrin will not take this filth in his shrine. And there you go. This is where he stands. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the quest from Logosh. The shrine reclaimed. Yes, Drakfu, I am Guldrin, the one called Logosh in your tongue. Your persistence in the face of fear has unbound me from Twilight's grasp. My shrine has been purified, and my worshippers have returned to their rightful place at my right paw. Return to Creek and continue your work here in Hyjal. I will have need of you again soon. Okay, so now we're going to be doing some quests for his followers. First of all, with Creek.
Strength.
The tenacity of the Wolf Ancient is the stuff of legend. Learn from his example, monk, and victory is all but certain. Drakfu, it was incredible. For a fleeting moment, I saw Logosh through the trees, a creature of both fury and light. My cage collapsed, and the vandals melted like wax under the kiss of his claws. The screams and howls echoing through the valley. Was that your work? Kind of. It was kind of Logosh.
For the Horde.
Cleaning house. We are well on our way to returning the shrine to its former glory, Drakfu. But there's some house cleaning to take care of. On the other side of this meadow, some ogre squatters are setting up camp, led by a thick-headed clunk of ugly by the name of Gargoyle. Kill Gargoyle's minions and see if we can send him packing. So kill any combination of 8 Hovel Brutes or Hovel Shadowcasters within Gargoyle's Hovel. We also have Royce Duskwhisper.
Hello.
The Eye of Twilight. The ogre clan across the lake is led by Gargoyle. I use the term loosely. Gargoyle has the intelligence of raw beef. So as far as I can tell, Gargoyle is taking orders from the magical instrument, the Eye of Twilight. He follows its commands unquestioningly. If we can sabotage the Eye, we can cause unimaginable havoc. Go to Gargoyle's hovel and seek out the Eye of Twilight near the entrance. Study it. Find a way to subvert it. Marvelous chaos. And we also have one for Rio Duran.
Good day to you.
From the Mouth of Madness. I know of a drought that should jolt these gibbering former slaves back to reality. Gather some stone bloom from the rocks around Gargoyle's hovel, some bitter blossom from the shores of the nearby lake, and a dark flame ember from one of those braziers at the hovel entrance. The drought won't last long, so combine the ingredients at the Twilight Cauldron by the entrance of the hovel. One sip of that drought should knock some sense into the brainwashed slaves.
See you around.
All right, so we have a bunch of brand spanking new quests. So for that, let's go ahead and do another questing break. Go! Okay, we've taken care of the quest so far, but we're going to take a break from the questing break, so to speak, and take care of the other quests that are going to be close by, and then we'll turn everything in after. So first of all, with the cauldron burbles filled with disgusting liquids. You dump out the current contents of the cauldron, instantly killing the surrounding plant life. The drought you blew in its place boils chunky and reeks of rotted cabbage. You turn your head aside and bottle it up. Okay. Free your mind, the rest follows. Rio said that the drought would not remain effective for long. You better hurry into the hovel and administer it to as many Twilight servitors as you can find. So you just need to find 8 of them. But first, we're also going to go to the Eye of Twilight, which is just right here. You approach the Eye of Twilight. As your fingertips graze its luminescent surface, you are aware of a malignant presence peering back at you, searching your soul. Instinctively, you draw back. Okay? Mastering Puppets. During your brief communion with the Eye, you felt that its power source lay deep within the hovel. You felt the weight of a powerful tome, binding together 4 elements. Mastering the Eye will require you to search the hovel for this tome. So, let's go ahead and step into the Orc hovel, or the Ogre hovel, where you could also take care of the hovel brutes if you needed to, but I've been very lucky with it. We need the drought, so let's just go ahead and... Oh, never mind, we can do this. Fear broils from the heart of the infinite. Don't make me look. I see more than I can stand.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of what these guys are going to say. So we're just going to take care of all of the Twilight Servitors, administer the drought. And next up is an orc. And another orc. Oh, that's cute. The Shadowcaster thought he could help me. Oh, and we actually do have an additional quest in here. So we'll take that too. First of all, Servitor. Administer the drought. And we also have some Obsidium in here. We'll take that too. There we go. And we have a guy hanging from a hook. That's not good. Christoph Mannheim. Hello, Monk. I imagine you have a lot of questions. Suffice it to say that Royce Duskwhisper sent me into the middle of an overcave for some Eye of Twilight jib-job, and it hasn't gone well. If I ever get my hands on that lanky, heartless, mealy-mouthed little night elf. Christoph wiggles helplessly as he dangles in the air, his face reddening. So, Gargle's gotta go. Christoph cranes his neck, trying to look you in the eye. Listen, you gotta get me out of here. They're either going to eat me or turn me over to the Twilight's hammer. Maybe both. They've padlocked me in, and Gargle keeps the key in his personal treasure chest. Kill Gargle if you have to, but get that key. Christoph flails his limbs helplessly, so we need to get the key. And let's go ahead and take care of this servitor as we go along. Almost done with the servitors. Thankfully, I know where Gargle is, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Here's our last one. So administer the drought. We have all our objectives completed for that. And actually, is Gargle here? Well, doesn't matter. We can get his personal treasure chest. So take care of that. But we also need to go deeper into Gargle's hovel to get the answer to the Eye of Twilight. Because remember, we saw a book. Oh, and for that, we're also going to get this obsidian deposit. Because I'm an ore whore, and that's what I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Twilight Apocrypha. A heavy tome bound in flesh lies open on the table. The language, pictographic and scrawled in rust-colored ink, is indecipherable. But notes and translations are tucked within several pages. This must be what you're looking for. Elementary. You can't read the text, but diagrams seem to indicate that the devices around should be activated in a set order. One passage of the Apocrypha has been translated to modern text. In the beginning was Shadow Eternal. Hate blazed forth, and fire was born. Wounds scabbed, and so begat earth. Cries of anguish birthed howling wind, wherein the skies wept seas of tears. We lived in shadow, the world we know, built of rage and hurt, rage, hurt, anguish, and sorrow. Okay, so we have crucibles of air, fire, earth, and water. So let's go ahead and do fire first. And I believe he said... Oh, that was wrong. And if you get it wrong, then you get some damage. You have to start all over. So fire, we need earth. Then we need air. And water. Oh, no. The manipulator found me. And so let's go ahead and turn this in at the Apocrypha. Flush with the energies of the captured elementals, you stand before the Twilight Apocrypha. The pages turn of their own accord. Suddenly, you see what the eye sees. It is yours to command. Okay, so there we go. Return to Duskwhisper. You force your own image into the eye, manipulating it to give the ogres different orders. As you do so, you feel another presence within the eye, probing you, seeking out a weakness. A distant being fumes with rage. You made some enemies today. Your work here is done, and the ogres will be friendly to you. Return to Royce Duskwhisper at the Shrine of Goldrin and let him know that what you have accomplished. So now that we've taken care of that, all of the servitors and the brutes, they won't fight me here. Which makes this really ideal so that you can get Christoph out of here quick. So let's go back to where Christoph was. Hi, Christoph.
Greetings.
So Gargle's got to go. Key now, please. Christoph reaches down to snatch the key. It's about time. He squirms in his bonds, trying to reach the padlock behind his back. Can I get a little help here? Sure. Get me out of here. You reach up to unfasten Christoph's bonds. Good. Make a break for the exit and I'll follow. If we get separated, check back here to make sure I haven't been recaptured.
Be careful.
Which, thankfully, we don't need to worry about too much because even though this is an escort quest, he will follow us. Okay, let's do this. You fight the ogres and I will not fight them. head for the exit. So he'll follow us at our speed. This is a good escort quest, people. This is where they started to fix them. So he'll just follow me out of the cave, but nothing's going to attack me. I'm their ally. Or at least they think I'm their ally. There we go. We made it. I'll find my way back on my own. And do me a favor and go tell Royce Duskwhisper where he can stick his stupid eye of twilight. Well, we already took care of that too, so you don't need to worry about that. Ooh, a Shara's Veil. Let's go ahead and grab that too. We're having lots of luck with herbs. We're back! So let's go ahead and turn all of it in. First with Trit Creek. Yes, yes, yes. Cleaning house. Ha! So you really sent some heads rolling, did you? It was said during the War of the Ancients that Logosh fought demons for 10 days solid. Hopefully you weren't fighting that long. Alright, and we also do have 2 new quests. So Sweeping the Shelf. The shrine is secure. The ogre's in disarray. Enough! The time has come to go on the offensive. Something sinister is underway above us, on the lightning ledge. It is time to unleash the fury of the ancients. Fly up to the lightning ledge and demolish the Twilight's hammer there. Crush them, Drakfu. Slay their creations, and hurl their bodies from the mountainside. Okay, and then we also have another quest from him, which is Lightning in a Bottle. Logosh granted me a vision while you were in the hovel, Drakfu. I saw you striding across the lightning ledge, with lightning bolts in your hand. The vision was powerful. Logosh feels this is of utmost importance. We must not fail the ancient. Upon the lightning ledge, Twilight's hammer has been experimenting with devices they call lightning channels. Investigate one of these channels, then use this totem to summon the spirit of Logosh, and learn what the ancient is planning.
For the horde.
Okay, and then let's go ahead and turn this in with Rio.
Something?
Did the drought work?
Yes, it did.
Excellent. Let's hope the damage wasn't permanent. Judging by the poor victims still in camp here, the Twilight's hammer really messed with their heads.
Oh, and we get a brand spanking new mace as well. Yay.
Have a good one.
And finally, Royce Duskwhisper.
Greetings.
Return to Duskwhisper.
Hello, yes, what, you're one of the ones I sent after the Eye of Twilight, aren't you? Good work, very good. I suppose that's a valuable lesson.
Never to take orders from a big purple ball. Yes, please don't do that.
Christoph, yeah. Oh yes, I remember now. I recall sending him on what amounted to a suicide mission. He survived. I suppose that means he failed. Still, you deserve at least some coin for the trouble.
And some boots also.
Goodbye.
Alright, and with that, so first of all, let's go ahead and upgrade things. And yay! We can just do this. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of The Tale of Drakfu. When we get back later on today, you will be getting the next in the Dungeons and Drakfus, but also we will be back on Wednesday to continue our questing in Mt Hyjal.